it's echoing though, because it's so big, I think, but we'll make it work. It's okay. We'll make it work.
Should we try outside real quick? Maybe it's better.
You know what? You guys are in your space. I love how you set up. It's fine. Every time it's always different. Every once in a while. This is a special occasion. That's why we're drinking instead of just regular wine. That's why we're drinking sparkling wine. So, it's cool. We just go with the flow. You know how we go. You know how we do. So, how is it up there in Napa? How is the weather?
It's toasty, but the weather is beautiful. I mean, the sky, the sun, it's really, really nice.
So just so you know, like when you first say something, it takes a minute for the mic to catch up. Yeah, there's a little bit of a lag. So just wanted to let you know. But yay, salud, salud. Ooh, I see how Miriam is. I see how she is. So normally I introduce the wine, right? Normally I go into the wine and everything, and I can give a little bit of the intro, but since we're going into it, and this is really about you guys, I'm gonna let you guys go into it because today we're drinking your sparkling wine, champagne, cuvee. We'll get into what all of those differences are, but it's called Las Amigas. But please, tell me and tell the audience about what we're drinking today.
So today we are drinking our Las Amigas Cuvee, which we launched at the end of August. So we're really excited about this joint project with Honrama Cellars and Llamas family wines that was born during COVID. So it's a 2013, and it's a very drinkable sparkling wine. We've had a few people now, I'd say, compare it to Schramsberg. It's a very good quality wine that was made in the Methode Champenoise. So this is the type of winemaking that's from France, and it's more labor and time intensive than just regular sparkling wine that you find a lot of the times here in California or the United States.
So when we go through it, like when we taste
the smells,
it, do we get the smells and everything like you do in normal wine?
Yeah, you can pick up your, so it's nice and citrusy. You pick up a little bit of pear in there.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. Pear. This is, okay, normally I'm not a champagne person. I can have it a little bit, right? And I was already saying, I was like, asking my friends. I asked only a couple friends. I act like I was calling everybody. I asked a couple friends like, hey, I have an entire bottle of champagne and I can't, like, normally I would not be able to. I have a feeling I'm going to be able to drink this whole bottle because, like that's that good because.
And so it's a cuvee. So a cuvee, when you call us champagne a cuvee, that's when you have top of the line grapes. So it was a nice exceptional year to where you are able to call it a cuvee because it's the top of the crop, the best of the best in the sparkling. And this one,
60% Pinot Noir and 40% Chardonnay.
And it's a 2013 vintage, so it was laid. It was laid for that long. A lot of the sparkling wines that you taste are made within one vintage to the next, which would be, you'll see a sparkling wine out there. And normally they don't have the vintage, but it'll be from last year, like a 2019. But this one was laid down since 2013 up until the release and up until now that you're tasting. Oh, and so that also adds
really,
a lot
really good. Flavor. Good thing I have the bottle next to me because I'm probably going to be refilling. Well, now I'm glad nobody else is coming to share the bottle after this because I feel like this is just going to be my afternoon. Just, it can be rough sometimes, right? You guys understand. You guys are in the wine. I'm not in the wine business. I'm just in the wine drinking business. But
You never know, maybe down the road, right? You're gonna talk to enough of us and you're gonna do enough interviews where you're gonna learn and you're gonna say, I'm gonna take a class. And then you're just gonna like, okay, let me go to Temecula or Valle de Guadalupe or Napa.
right. No, it's so funny that you say that because earlier I was talking, and one of the things that I want to do is help people, what people have said they already have been learning each week. Because I learn from every time I talk to you guys. Anytime I talk to winemakers, I'm learning more. And then I pass that along saying, oh, because then I remember it because I think it's actually stuff I want to retain. And people have been wanting to be more and more educated. So I want to be able to, help as well. And so that's why it's so exciting that you guys have, that I've been able to connect with you guys. You guys have been part of these virtual wine tastings, and people have been absolutely loving them, and I appreciate you guys taking time. And now, like, to share, this is like a passion project for you guys. So I would love to hear. Now, I do know your stories as far as with your husbands and your coupling in regards to your wineries, but I would love to hear a little bit about each of your backgrounds and how that led to you to where you are now. So Miriam, you want to start? So Lola, you gonna start?
Yeah, I'm a local girl. I was born in St. Helena and then grew up in Napa. Didn't really have, well, my connection to the winemaking back then was my grandfather. He worked as a grafter for BB Winery and for Trefethen.
A grafter, is that what you said? I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
So the grafting is when you take part of the plant, like I think it's like the rootstock, or it's a rootstock, and you graft it to another vine.
It's like when you have roses, a rose bush, and you cut a little bit of the rose and then you replant it. That's the grafting.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, anyway, I grew up in Napa. Went to school here, never left because I met my husband very young, so didn't take off for college or anything, but stuck around. And then when we jumped into the wine business, I kind of did it backwards. I didn't have the wine industry background or education, so I had the opportunity to do an MBA program through Sonoma State in 2016. It was the first one at the time that was offered for the wine business here in the US. So I jumped on that and graduated in 2017. So it was a really good experience and included an international trip to South Africa and France. And it was a great group of people that were my classmates and still friends to this day. And nothing but good things.
That's awesome. When you went on when you did your trip, getting all of that done, did you also learn, like, when you're doing something like that, obviously you're learning about wine, are you learning about sparkling wine as well?
Yeah, we visited, we went to France, we went to the Champagne region. So we visited a lot of the champagne houses. It was amazing. We had one experience, and I cannot remember which place it was, but it was amazing. I mean, one of my professors luckily had a connection, set it up, and it was like, just from the moment the gates opened, like, they were waiting for us, like they were lined up at the door, to take our coats and purses, and like they were all, dressed in like they were black and white and gloves, and I mean, it was just an amazing experience from beginning to end. I mean, to the point where, they met us with sparkling wine, and then they had lunch prepared for us where they came out with the plates, and like everything was like at the same time. They put the plates down, and it was.
Oh, it's like it was like a coordinated.
Yes, everything
like
was
a dance.
Coordinated. Yes,
like a dance.
Yes. So I did definitely get a chance to taste a lot of sparkling wine, and at the time I didn't appreciate it as much as I do now. As you said, you don't drink a lot of sparkling wine. At the time, I didn't drink a lot of sparkling wine.
Well, I mean, if all sparkling wine tasted like this, I'm sure I would drink a whole lot more.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So now I'm like, I think if I went back, it would, totally different experience.
And Miriam, what's your background?
Background is my parents and I immigrated here from Guanajuato, and we lived in Bakersfield, of all places, in the early 80s, and moved to Napa when I was 10. That was when my father was offered a full-time job working here out in the vineyards. And he worked himself out from the vineyards up into the cellar. He became a cellar master and was making wine along with the winemaker and assistant winemaker. So he got to love wine so much that he wanted to make his own wine. And I was daddy's girl, and we had a really close connection. So when he told me that he wanted to make his own wine and he wanted me to help him sell the wine, it became my dream, my life aspiration. So I was going to study child psychology, and I changed my major to study business. Lola and I both graduated we have our bachelor's from St. Mary's in business management. Mm-hmm. And so that was one thing, one step further to making our goal come true. And I've always worked in the wine industry. My first job was at Llamas Vineyards. I did the payroll and HR there. And then I moved on to Rigushi Winery, where I was jack of all trades, and I was doing tastings on the weekends, and I was the personal assistant to the owner, doing all his bookings and stuff. So I very, very quickly learned to love the wine industry, the lifestyle that comes with being in the wine industry, which is going out to dinner and bringing wine and talking about wine.
Lots of socializing. And
I'm learning to love that too.
Yes.
It doesn't take much to learn to love that. So question, so you guys are in a space right now. Are you building a tasting room? I hear, is it construction happening, or which is fine. I think that's awesome because people can hear like what life is, right? Like this is what life is right now. So where are you guys actually at right now?
in the tasting room in Sonoma. So Honrama Cellars has their wines here, and then we're able to sell the sparkling wine out of here as well.
Awesome. I know I could see the steel barrels in the back.
Yeah, so they also have their wine here, their production here as well.
That's so awesome. I mean, you can tell stuff's going on, but like I said, I mean, if you're taking advantage right now of having to move things around or having things built or new things, whatever, right now is the time to do it if you're able to, because there's no indoor dining, unfortunately. But
yes,
yeah, but if you're able to kind of do that, then again, that just makes it little bit, I guess, a little bit easier without having to worry about other distractions. So one of the things that you said about Cuvee is that it is a higher quality wine, because this is Las Amigas Cuvee, and obviously it's sparkling wine because unless it comes from the Champagne region of France, it has to be labeled sparkling wine, right? What is the difference because you said you guys create this sparkling wine, or I'm just going to refer to it as Cuvee because I feel like that just rolls off the tongue a lot easier. What is the difference about creating something like this French style versus any other style?
well, as I mentioned, it's definitely more labor and time intensive.
Speak up a little bit.
Oh, it's more labor and time intensive. So it's undergoing second fermentation in the bottle. So there's several steps to making a sparkling wine. This project was one that Juan was working on with a client that wasn't able to finish up. We were able to jump on it and finish up the process. So we were able to do the dosage part of it, which is adding the sugar or the sweetness to it. So definitely the Methode Champenoise is more time consuming.
Where you lay down the bottle and it goes through the second fermentation to where you take out the yeast, and that's when you add the dosage. So that's a lot of
dosage is what give it the bubbles, or what?
So no, you were asking about the dosage. That's the adding the sweetness to it, the sugar.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So do a lot of doing it the French way, does that mean that they put less sugar in it, or does it just depend versus?
No, it means that you wine do its job in the bottle when it's laid down, as to
Gotcha.
opposed to here.
Yes, quickly and.
There are a lot of wineries that it's an assembly line. You get your wine, you make your mix. Is it going to be a Blanc de Blancs or a Blanc de Noirs? And you bottle it and you add the disgorged, and it's automated. To where this one, it's a 2013, you laid it down, you did the second fermentation, you took out the yeast the second time around, and then added the disgorged, which is the sugar that creates it into being a sparkling wine.
So when it's made quickly, isn't the CO2 being injected into it to get the bubbles? Whereas if it goes through this process,
Yes.
the longer process, then that's a natural.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So how can you tell the difference between a good sparkling champagne versus a cheap one outside of price? Because I feel like sometimes you might be able to, you pay something that is a little bit more, but it still tastes kind of icky.
Kind of tricky because it all depends on your palate, on each individual's palate and what they like. Like I like our Cuvee because it's nice and smooth. It's not dry, but it's not too sweet either. So it's
Yeah.
perfect, and it doesn't give us a
Good
headache.
balance.
That was
if
the
I
next
drink-
thing I was going to say, because the bubbles always, like, that's one thing I think a lot of people don't end up getting champagne or sparkling wine or anything like that for, because the bubbles, they're like, I'm going to get a headache. So what is the difference in regards to something like this that doesn't give you a headache versus something that will?
I think it has to do with the balance in the sugar, because if it's very, very dry, then it's a champagne that you might want to have with orange juice or something, turn it into a mimosa.
Yeah.
But if it's a Cuvee and it's well balanced like this one,
You don't
you
need to.
you don't need it, and you could drink it by yourself and enjoy it in the morning or all day. But I just
I
believe
will
that
be
it's the
enjoying it all
nice.
day.
We really got lucky with the dosage because Lola and I were part of it. We were in the lab tasting the
different
wine with
blends.
the different dosage levels, and I think we really nailed it.
Yeah, and I think it was pretty quick. Like it was just, yeah, this is the one. Like there was no going back and forth. We're like, no, this is it.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna
It was
say.
so cute. It was so cute because Lola had to like rush out of her lunch. She's like, I'm jamming to the lab to meet her husband and Juan and I. And there's the four of us, and just tasting different levels and really just coming up with something that we're really happy with the result. And it's been very, very well received.
Where, okay, so I know there's different types of sparkling, right? There's like brut, dry, there's like all these different types. Can you kind of go through what the different types of champagne are?
So a Blanc de Blanc is made out of Chardonnay.
Mm-hmm.
And a Blanc de Noir has a red grape and a white grape, which is the Pinot Noir, which is the red grape, and the Chardonnay, which is the white grape. And then when it's brut, it means it's dry. And when it's a Cuvee, it's a nice balanced sparkling wine.
Got it. So it's like, I think there's like brut, extra brut, right?
There's extra brut.
Yes. Yeah. I just go by what I see in the thing, because we don't normally have champagne bites. My sister, she's more of a champagne person than I am. And anytime we go to the store, she's like, go get some champagne. And I'm a better wine picker than champagne picker, because I'm like, well, if I'm going to get this, I might as well just get something cheap, because we're probably going to put orange juice in it anyways, but I've never known how to pick actual good wine or a good sparkling wine. And then I've had somewhere I've paid more and I'm like, this is not good. Why did I just pay, however much for this? And I'm not digging it. So, here's like a big, which is so awesome, which is really one of the reasons, I mean, because besides you guys are awesome, and because I've tasted your other wines, but you guys are the first Latina sparkling wine makers in the United States. That is so huge. Like, first of all, salud. Congratulations to that, because that is so awesome. How does that feel to like know you guys are kind of the first ones to be doing this, and who normally is in within this field? That 'cause obviously wine is different than, but as far as the sparkling wine and cuvee market.
It's amazing. It feels amazing, but we didn't go into it thinking, oh, we're going to be the first Latinas doing it. Wow. It feels amazing, but we didn't go into it thinking that, oh, we're going to be the first ones to do this. It just kind of later on, I think just a few people mentioning, we're like, oh, I guess so.
Yeah, it became more of a big deal after the project was finished than before. Before, our whole goal was woman empowerment, girls being there for other girls.
Stronger together.
Some competition is good, but there's a certain level of competition, and we didn't want to be the catty girls, or we all embrace each other and we elevate each other.
Right.
That was like the main idea behind our project.
Yeah.
And not only that, but in the wine industry, we are the first two brands to come together as one to promote each other, because we are part of MAVA, and MAVA does stand for promoting each other. But to have two brands, we're pretty much married.
This is if this hasn't been done before, especially within MAVA, there hasn't been this kind of support with two wineries, and then promoting our wines together.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, MAVA is the Mexican American Vintners Association, located. That's how I found you guys, because I found MAVA and I was like, I want to work with these people. Like, hello. But that's awesome. And we were looking at the wine bottle, and it really represents both of you, because both of the logos from your respected wineries are on there. And I love how you guys named it Las Amigas. Was that just a natural thing? Like, duh, we're going to natural, or did you go through several names before you landed on that?
I think, we went through a couple names, and I think Juan blurted it out.
Yes.
Las Amigas. And we're like, yes, that's the name.
Yes.
What were some of the names that you guys were mulling over?
Las del Vino, Las Comadres. Chica, las chicas,
Las
chicas, because that's her word. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this
Amigas is better than chicas. It feels better.
Yeah.
You were going to say something. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, this was all born on Memorial Day weekend. Like, Lola and I have been talking about it for weeks without end.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk
what are we going to do? How are we going to survive? How are we going to keep our businesses going?
But to us, the idea was to promote each other. And so then we are sitting with the husbands drinking alcohol and a Moscow Mule and a margarita at R&D in Yountville. And so we pitched the idea to our husbands. We tell them exactly what we want to do and how we're going to do it. And then we start creating our Instagram.
Right then and there.
Yeah. And then Juan said, well, if you girls are that serious, then how about sparkling wine? And we jumped on it. We were not going to give him the opportunity to have a second thought. And so we created Las Amigas, and it's been amazing. It's been a great adventure. And we're looking forward to it, just growing and promoting each other, and working with more than anything, other women to find themselves and empower themselves and find their higher power.
That's awesome. I love hearing that. I know you said you guys, that there's somebody else was about to do it and you guys were able to get to a point. How did you, at what point? Was that before or after you decided, yes, we want to do a sparkling wine? At what point did you guys?
It was just perfect timing. It was a project that Juan had with one of his customers. And the customer just...
it was probably so I want to say, we had talked about sparkling wine. Neither of us had it, in May, but I want to say this was maybe a month later. In fact, Juan's like, guess what? You guys want to do this? Yeah, we jumped on it.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Talk about perfect. So they had already gone through certain point of fermentation.
They'd done a lot of the work already.
They were in the final steps, pretty much the dosage. But maybe somebody got cold feet. My husband's customer might have got cold feet and maybe had too much on his plate and figured like, we're going through this and how am I gonna launch this project and how am I gonna move it? Maybe he had a lot of inventory, we don't know. But it was his perfect excuse to say, sorry, bye, I'm backing out. Wow. And it was it's like out of something bad, something good comes. And it was our perfect opportunity to run with it.
Oh my, so you guys had the name before you had the product?
No. So we started Las del Vino.
Yeah, we had Las del Vino first.
Okay.
Well, that's the Instagram. That's the name of our LLC.
And so that's something we had been working on way before. And then when we talked with the husbands, Juan said, well, this just happened with a customer. If you girls are that serious of working together, then how about having a sparkling wine? And it was pretty amazing. It kind of fell on our lap, but it's been definitely, we have some challenges, but it's been amazing promoting it and working with people and finding our amigas that really support us and that we support each other. And we're really happy. And I think we're going to be close to sold out pretty really.
Yeah, that's
really
the goal. The goal is New Year's.
Yes.
I know. I already told you guys. I don't think that's going to be a problem. You said that there's been some challenges. What have been the challenges going through this?
Well, a lot of things. This is a new area for us. You know, neither of us are, we're worked with sparkling wine before, so it's been a learning experience, but a good thing. And then just
deciding on how to promote it.
Right.
Do we want to put it in restaurants? Do we want to put it in retail shops? Or are we just going to sell it direct? And how are we going to do it? And when we do, our challenge has been, at first, we wanted just to create events and do special events just for our bride, Las Amigas.
But with COVID, it's just, we can't. It's made things a lot harder, put up a lot more roadblocks for us. So we had to come up with other ideas. And then just also the challenge.
This later, right? This how long it's lasted.
And the challenges, I think, of also just time. We both, I have a full-time job. Miriam has a full-time job. So then we're adding something else to the mix. So just trying to balance it all out.
And we love it so much and believe in it so much. So it's that much more challenging. Like we need to squeeze out really good time, but this time has to be well distributed, well used.
Yeah. So before, we hang out a lot and we'd go have, just impromptu date nights or whatever and just, chill and relax, whatever. Now it's like, we'll still do that, but it's like, okay, what do we do with this?
Yeah, every time we get together.
Whenever we can squeeze in something.
Yeah.
We do.
we would take over the dinner table. Just she and I, and the husbands are like,
oh, we're talking about work.
this.
So what happens once you're sold out of this? You guys already have something, the next vintage prepared or working on it, or what's the next step?
Working on it.
And what vintage of grapes is the next one coming from?
I think for this other one, we're not going to be as, we have like 3 different vintages that we're thinking about, but it just comes down to, we need to set aside some time to go and do some tastings, some wine blending with the 3 different ones. And then, the beautiful thing about a sparkling wine is if you don't see a vintage on it, a lot of it could always be blended vintages. We could have some grapes from 2019, 2017, and 2016. So we're going to do a blending of all the 3 vintages mixed together, and then we're going to separate them and figure out how we're going to redo this.
So is that to your benefit to be able to mix vintages so you guys can get the best of the grapes from each particular year?
For us, yes. If we owned 10 acres of Chardonnay and the Pinot Noir, if we owned that and it was already producing grapes, it would be amazing because in champagne, when you put a vintage on your bottle of champagne or sparkling wine, that means it was top of the line, creme of the creme. That's why when you go out and you see wine bottles and they don't have the vintage on them, it could very well be multiple vintages.
I never knew that.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, look, look, the education already, right? Not only just learning about all of the different types of sparkling wines and everything, but the fact that if it doesn't have a year on it, it's probably mixed vintages. I legit had no idea that's what it meant.
In Champagne, it's in the region of Champagne, France. It's a big deal when you do. So if you see a champagne that's from France, Champagne, France, and you see a vintage on it, you want to buy it because they are very proud of how it came out. Unless they're exceptionally happy with the result, they'll put a vintage on it. If not, they won't put a vintage on it.
Oh my gosh, that's great. That's so crazy. Seriously, I had no idea. What do you guys envision for Las Amigas? Like, I know you said you really want to empower women. It's really about having amigas, but what does that mean to you in regards to doing that?
Well, to me, Las Amigas means empowering and bringing out the best in all of our other amigas. And I think if we do very, very well, I think Lola and I, we could very well close to working with other amigas and bringing and doing a line of 6 different sparkling wines with a lot of other amigas. And that's going to be even more empowering.
Can we do a wine and chisme one?
Or wine and chisme one. Like it very well could be other ladies from Mava or not from Mava that are interested in, hey, you guys did this. Why didn't you invite me? They'll be like, why didn't you invite me? It's like, oh, I'm inviting you. Let's work on our next one and let's call it this. And we're all part of it. I think it could be really, it's an amazing concept.
I think there's a lot of ways to go with it. So I think one of the more important things though, for both of us, our daughters, I think we're inspiring them to really want to do big things for themselves. You know, they see us doing this and
to be entrepreneurs. Yes.
Well,
and it's a lot of work. It's not easy.
No, I'm not going to lie. Like seeing you guys inspires me. Like seriously. Since I got to meet you guys in August, I have just raved about you because the energy that
We're so inspired. Look at us.
I mean, just the energy that I had in the, having dinner with you guys and getting to meet you guys was so awesome. And then when you told me you guys were doing this, I was like, and when you said, oh yeah, we're the first like Latinas who are creating this, I was like, what? Oh my gosh, we need to get your story on for sure because, wait, I need to fill mine up too because.
Hey, Jessica.
We're going to do some AMSR.
We might have you be part of this project one day.
Oh my gosh. Don't tease me. Don't tease me like that. No, but seriously, it's really like just hearing the stories. Through the wine tastings, we've been very fortunate to hear not just your stories, but your family stories in regards to starting these wineries and the stories behind the wines themselves and everything. And it really has been inspiring. So inspiring that people are like, we want more, we want more, we want more. We want to do this more often. So, there's a lot that I think is going to come. And the fact, and when people heard, oh my gosh, of Las Amigas, I actually heard, somebody from our wine tasting already reached out to you, Lola, because she wants to go get a case of the.
Yeah, right then and there. I'm coming. I'm like, okay.
We're waiting for you.
Yes, Eva.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I had already Guillermo was like, you need to come up. And I said, well, if I go up, I'll probably go up I probably have to go up for like a good week, right? So to really get the gist of everything. I mean, again, it's hard job, very hard job to go up there and meet all these wonderful people and taste all this wonderful wine.
You're really going to have to sacrifice yourself.
I am. But that is a sacrifice I am willing to make.
We feel we feel the love. We feel the love.
You said, Miriam, that if your life was described in one word, it would be faith. Why faith?
I owe everything that I am to my Papa Dios. And every day I get up and I open my window and I look at the sun and I just thank the world and thank Papa Dios for a new day. At the end of the night, when we are all laying in bed, I'm very grateful that we are all home safe and that I know that our loved ones are safe. And that's what I own all my life. I've been this devoted to my Catholic beliefs. And more than anything, my parents did not instill this. My parents would drive me to the front of the church and drop me off for mass, and they take off to the flea market or wherever they were going. And then they pick me up after church, or I'd walk myself home. Yeah. And that's just who I am. I just always have known. I guess I'm very Catholic. I believe in Papa Dios, but also just doing the good for the greater good for everything, looking at the good in everything. So faith is the only way. That's my life. I'm here because of it. It's just divine intervention. Like, this would be going into a whole separate subject, but is the way everything has lined up for my husband and I and our family. It's all been divine intervention. So I feel like the stars have really lined up, and we rise and shine. We get up, suit up, and show up, and things happen. So.
Oh, that's awesome. When you were saying you would go to church, so I grew up going to church where they would come pick us up. So they honk the van, we'd jump out. And yeah, my parents, their participation in church was handing us a check to give for tithing each week. Here you go. And that would be, it was kind of the same. They wouldn't drop us off. Sometimes they'd pick us up early, like, hey, we're going to pick you up and then we're going to go to Dairy Queen or something like that. But that was their participation. Here's a check. We're doing our part. Lola, you said your one word to describe your life would be frantic.
Would be what?
Frantic.
Oh, frenetic.
Oh, frenetic. Oh, yes. Then I did not read that right. What is, then I don't even know. I don't think I've ever.
Oh my gosh, that's right. I forgot about that questionnaire. Yeah, no, it's a crazy life. It's, I have a lot of balls in the air, but, it's a good, I'm happy. It's a good thing. It's a very, unexpected life. There's been a lot of twists and turns, and but it's been good things. Never in a million years when Oscar and I got together would I have thought we'd be making wine and sparkling wine and have the life that we have. We didn't have anything. When we got married, he didn't even have a car. He came with a TV, and I had a car, and we had nothing. And I was making $7.50 an hour.
That is love. Wait, let me just say,
it is love.
Because most girls, but at this age, unless we're living like in New York City, if you're trying to date me, I'm 43. If you're trying to date me, you better have a car.
Crazy. Yeah, no, he lived with his tia, he lived 4 houses down from where I lived. And when he moved in with her, he's like, Lola, I don't have any furniture. Can I borrow some furniture? And like, sure. So we let him borrow a dresser and a lamp, and he had nothing. And he didn't like his tia's cooking. And my mom wasn't a great cook, but he liked her food better than his tia. So I would go run down the street and bring him food. Because Lola doesn't cook. Wow. I don't cook, but I would take him my mom's food.
No, yeah. She said we had our thing, and she said, "Where is the cook?" She's like, "My kids are waiting for him to come back."
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they're happy.
That is so great. Again, that is love. That is love when you are willing to accept nothing but the man and the TV. Oh my gosh. What have you guys actually, I did want to ask this in regards to like super high end wine. Like I know there's like Cristal. I know there's other ones. And I don't really know sparkling wine, or champagne. So I know that there's like some really high end wines. Are those high end champagnes or sparkling? Are they worth it? Like if somebody's like, or is it just the name, the cachet of the name?
Definitely, yeah, they're definitely.
I don't think I've had Cristal. Dom Perignon, I remember somebody ordering it when we were at Morimoto, and it was just a friend we ran into, and hey, I'm getting this bottle. And I mean, it was okay, but I mean, for the price, it wasn't like, you know, like, oh, I want to go get some, or oh, I've got to have this again. It was like, it was okay.
If you're gonna spend that much on a sparkling wine or champagne, there better be some baby making afterwards or something. It better come with like
At
the
least
first
practicing,
yes. It better come with a stroller. It better come with something, you know. If I'm paying that much, you got to release that pretty soon. So go give me something. Girl, this is Chisme time. It's okay. You know?
I know.
This is girl time. This is Chisme time. No, well, one of the reasons I wanted to do this so now is because obviously holidays are coming. New Year's is coming. One of your goals is to be sold out by New Year's. I want to help with that. I want to help make that happen, whether it's, me partaking or me helping other people purchase it. You got to do what you got to do. So, but this gives people time to be able to go. So if people want to purchase it, where can they purchase it?
They could call us directly for an order. I'm sure they could purchase it through you. You could say, excuse me, ship me my wine and I'll process this wine order for you.
Send us an email.
And I'll make sure so what I'll make sure to do is include the links will be, in the show notes. It'll be on the website. We're
both selling it through our websites as well, Llamas Family Wines and Honrama Cellars.
Yes. So I'll make sure to include it so they can go to
message us on Instagram at Las del Vino. Just send us a message, and we're on that constantly. So we'll get back to you right away.
Yes. So question in regards, because in our wine tasting, there was a question in regards to shipping for a bottle of, if somebody just wanted to buy a bottle. Yes. Have you guys been able to check on that or find anything out?
It's $22 to $24 to ship almost anywhere in this country.
One bottle.
1 to 2 bottles.
Yeah.
1 to 2 bottles. So you could buy one and still pay $26 or buy 2 and still pay $26.
Yeah.
So it's better to buy 2.
Better to buy 2. So you got to buy 2.
But if you purchase at least a 6-pack, we'll comp the shipping fee, because the shipping fees could get costly. Yes. It could be up to $50 or $60 depending on where the wine is shipping to.
So so if you guys want free ship, might as well. If you're gonna go for 2, might as well go for 6. Just saying.
Start thinking. Yes. It's if you want to order now, it's Thanksgiving, and then you have your Christmas wine, and you have your New Year's wine.
Yeah, people won't get
any
for Thanksgiving, but for sure for Christmas and New Year's, for sure. And I'm telling you, this wine is so smooth. Like, I'm so glad I have no other plans today, because my plans will be to enjoy I'll probably just watch like Christmas movies and drink.
Hallmark.
Yes, I'm watching. I was actually before I got on with you guys, I was watching a Hallmark movie. And I have it on pause, so once we're done, I can start it, and then I've been waiting all morning. Look, I got dressed up for you guys.
You look very nice.
Thank you. I was like, you know what? I woke up this morning really early because my mind was racing, and I look at the clock and I'm like, 7 hours. 7 hours, and I can pop open that bottle. The sound. Oh, and you know what? The other thing I really like about the cork is not hard to open. Because sometimes you have some sparkling wines that you're like, and obviously will put the rag over and make sure it doesn't go crazy. But I wouldn't have even had to do that with this because it just popped off so easily, and you still get that really satisfying sound of the.
That's a good thing for me because I did not know how to open. I did not know how to open the bottles before this. I had to learn, so. I'd always just hand it to Oscar, hand it to Miriam.
I used to work at a restaurant where they taught us how to do it. And so you just kind of push a little bit, turn, push with a rag. So it doesn't just pop off. But this was it was so nice. And like I said, you get that satisfying, like,
pop.
Yes, you get that satisfying pop without it being really hard. It was not hard at all. So if you are somebody who you're like, I hate doing that part, you're not going to find that this is giving you a hard time, at least for me. And I'm hoping that for the other ones. So did you guys have to choose the bottling and the corks for these? How do you decide what you want it to be?
So price has something to do with it.
For sure.
And then when we were thinking of the colors that we wanted on our labels, like at first we had a peach color that we were just so in love with. Then pink, and we go back from turquoise to mint to pink. So everything started with the label. Once we had a finalized label, then we had to pick our bottle. And so this was a nice bottle to pick, not too heavy. It was right in the middle and just nice and elegant. I think if next time when we bottle again, we might keep this one because that's the original one. But if we do come up with a second one and third one, we might keep it even. It looks just as elegant without the foil on top.
And then initially the logos were in black, but then after talking about it, we changed them to silver. So then that is why we did the silver capsule as well.
Okay.
Well, it's a lot of work. Well, I'm sure when you designed your wine and Chisme logo, you had your share of work. How fast did you like it?
I did not design it. My friend designed it.
Yes.
So I hired a designer, or I hired my friend who's a designer. Her name is Pam. She has a podcast as well called Café con Pam. And she literally sat me down and was like, do you like this or this, this or this, this or this, this or I already knew the colors I wanted. That's the only thing I knew was the colors, because obviously I wanted rich, deep wine colors.
It's beautiful. We love your logo.
Thank you. I know, I love it too. And I knew that. I knew I wanted deep, rich wine type of colors. If you look at I have an accent of like what would be a Chardonnay, but a little bit deeper, like a goldish. Or I guess a Chardonnay, not necessarily anything else, but so she was literally like just asking me, what do you like? What do you like? What font? This. And then she came back with 2 options. She's like, okay, these are 2 what I created. And I just started, and I asked a couple people. I was at an event and I was like, hey, which one do you like better? And everybody's like, this one. And which is the one I liked? So I was like, all right. So fortunately, I did not have to do a lot of work. I let somebody else do that for me because I am not a designer. But just in regards to even the website, I designed my website myself. Like nobody else did it. I'm the one who did it. So if people think it looks like trash, then that's my fault. It looks okay. I've gotten compliments on it, but I'm not a designer. So in regards to the format, it was really like, what kind of format is the podcast going to be? What is it going to reflect? Even just saying, is it just going to be within the Latino or Latinx community, or am I going to have it more expansive, which I do? It's really within the Black, Indigenous, people of color type of community. So all of those little things, I didn't think I would have to think of, but you do. So thankfully I didn't have to pick the actual, because I'm telling you, if I had to actually do the graphics, I still would have not launched a podcast because I would still be waiting to create something, or it would have just looked so cheap. So thankfully she did it, because I love it how the wine is the wine bottle, right, with the end, and it does. So bravo to you guys to did you guys work with anybody on it, or did you guys
We
just,
have a designer,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of work. I guess that was my question when
Yeah.
you were getting your logo designed. Just really finding what you wanted,
I was really,
really having it speak to you.
yeah, I mean, I was really lucky. She sent me two things that were both really awesome. Like, she didn't give me a whole bunch, but I've gone through that where they've given you a bunch, and I feel like sometimes they give you too many options, because then you're like, oh my gosh, I like this, but I like this one, but I like part of this one, and I like part of this one. So understand how taxing that whole process can be. What have your, I know you guys both have daughters. What have your daughters conveyed to you in regards to the things that you're doing? Have they ever said anything in regards to what you're doing, or do they want to even get into the wine business? What are they like? What have they shared with you in regards to their aspirations based on what they've seen from you?
They're so cute. So they want,
And they love each
yes,
other.
they want to start their own little beauty business. They're calling it I think it's BFF Beauty, or Sophia came up with some signs, and then I think they've made little business cards, and they're so funny. Just
Because they get along too.
Yeah.
They love each other.
Makeup
They're like
and-
cousins.
makeup and nails and all that. So that definitely, I noticed that more once we were working together.
Once they'd hear us, we'd have our
Yes.
meetings. Either I was going to Lola's house or Lola was coming over here. So they'd hear us, and before you knew it, they were little entrepreneurs.
Yes.
They were
Yeah.
already thinking of their own little business they were
Mhm.
going to have.
Yeah. But of my two kids, I have a son as well. I definitely think Sophia will jump into the wine business, and she's mentioned it a couple of times. She's more creative and artistic, and more laid back. I think this is like definitely going to be her thing.
What do you think your son has gotten by seeing his mom, like just being such a
My
hefan?
son-
So like,
Yeah.
yes.
No, he's so funny. So for a while now, like he does not whine as much, because I mean, he would complain to me before, oh my God, I have this. And I'm like, no, let me tell you. Or he'd see me, and so he definitely like, oh gosh, I can't say anything. Mom's doing this, and this. Like, I can't, he's like, he just told me the other day, he's like, Mom, I don't know how you manage everything. I can't even remember, like, okay, I got this, have this for this class and this for this. And you have to remember everything, and you remember all of our schedules, and you never forget. And I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, he definitely, I think it motivates them. Like, he's like, my mom's doing this. There's no reason I can't be, doing well in school and find a job and be successful.
I mean, plus you went to school while after you had kids and everything. It wasn't like,
yeah. And even my bachelor's degree, I remember, and I still tell him that, he was little, because I got my degree in 2005. So when I was going through it, I mean, he was little, and I remember doing homework, sitting at the table, and he'd be like at my leg, he wanted attention, and I'm like, oh, mijo, I got homework to do. I'm sorry, and so, I struggled, because I went to school later on, and then with the MBA program, he saw it was a struggle with me. Some days, especially before, finals or before presentations, there was no sleep. It's like, I might as well just stay up. And so he doesn't complain as much, because he's like, okay, well, she did it,
yeah. You guys are so, like, I love seeing the the camaraderie that you have, the love that you guys have for each other, the fact that you guys came together to create this, when, especially in a time where with so much uncertainty, right? There's so many people just not knowing, and the fact that you kind of manifested it. You basically manifested it, like, yes, this is going to happen. Let's start working on it. And then the opportunity was presented to you. And the fact that you guys are going to sell out of this first thing by New Year's, because I know you will, that you guys are going to sell out of this by New Year's, that is such a testament to what you've decided to make happen.
Absolutely.
So I just want to say thank you guys so much for being so awesome and so rad, and for just being so welcoming to me, and being so willing to just work with me on all of these different things, because it was a dream that I didn't know how I wanted it to come out. And the fact that it's coming out even better than I thought it would is so huge. And you and your husbands and Angelica and Guillermo are a huge part of that. So I just want to say thank you so much. I will make sure to include all of their information in the show notes and on the website. And salud, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Of course.
Hola, mi gente. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Wine and Chisme podcast. If you would like to hear more wine and more chisme, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Saludos.